So, welcome to this video on presentation. You guys did the presentation recently, and I just wanted to give you some tips so you will be able to do a much better job of presenting your final uh, presentation. So, let me let me give you some tips on presentation. And before I do that, I want to share a story of a guy. He had studied kung fu, let's say, and kung fu or judo, I don't know, whatever has black belt in it. And so this guy has practiced like 10,000 moves, and he goes through all the what do you call, the dojos or the bouts, and he's beating everyone and he's at the top. Now this guy, so it's about time for him to go get the black belt. So he's in front of his teacher, sensei, teacher, and the teacher asks him one final question. And the question is, he asks, why should I give you black belt? So now the guy is thinking, and the guy says, well, I have, as you can see, I have mastered all the 10,000 moves, and I was really good at fighting, and I beat all my opponents, and I have learned everything there is to learn, and there's nothing else for me to learn. So that's why I want the black belt. The teacher says, go away, come back next year. So maybe the guy thinks, hey, maybe I made some mistakes or something. So he practices moves, day and night, really serious, really dedicated. So he practices it, comes back next year. Next year, again, the same thing, is pretty good, does all the moves, beats all the competitors. And again, before giving the black belt, the teacher asked the same question. Why should I give you the black belt? Now, the guy says, again, his answer is very similar. He says, yeah, last time, I didn't get it because I probably made this and this mistake, but I corrected all of those. And now I have become much better. And so I have mastered everything, and there is nothing left to master. So give me my black belt. Teacher again says to him, go back, come back next year. Now, so this guy goes away, and he's thinking, what can I do? I've practiced everything. What is it that the teacher wants me to do? Anyway, so let me tell you about the presentation tips. Okay. So if you look at any presentation, basically the presentation has three parts to it. One is the presentation material, like a PowerPoint, Prezi, whatever. And the other is the presentation style, like your tonality and other things, and connecting with the audience. This is actually the most important thing, which most of the people ignore. So let's quickly go over to the next ones. Just bear with me, I'm coming up with my pen. So presentation material, as I said, PowerPoint, Prezi, that's your presentation material and what you put on it. So, you should always start off with fun facts and, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things, keep it simple, and pay attention to the order of points, the way you're presenting it. And always try to do more with less. What I mean is, do not have too much on the PowerPoint, okay? Make sure the font is readable, the colors are pleasant, and try to have the colors of either the company you're going to be interviewing for, or if you're representing your company, so your company colors. Also try to add, graphics, charts, pictures that enhances your presentation. Because they say, picture is worth 1,000 words, and if you include a video is probably worth 1,000,000 words. So that is about the presentation material. Pretty straightforward. And the next part is presentation style. So this is always a good idea. Thank people for watching. So you're like, you're being a little humble, as well as, you are being mindful of them sharing their time with you. So you could start off saying, thank you for watching this presentation and giving me this opportunity to share some important tips about presentation. Okay, so that could be, and the first 30 seconds are important, and that's why this next part is important. So you start off with a story and break it off before climax. And speak slowly. This is actually very important. See, when you speak fast, 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 then people think that you don't know what you're talking about, or you're gonna forget what you're gonna say, and you come across as nervous, and that's a total disaster. But when you speak slowly and clearly, not only people understand, but think about this. Who can speak slowly? Usually the person of power, usually the person that has a lot of power is going to speak slowly and speak with power. Okay. And also vary your tonality. Most people are monotone, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, kind of. So you want to have, you want to go high, low, and talk about different things, and your tonality should convey what you're talking about. Don't over memorize. This is like you want to spit out all the facts. Whatever you want to say, you could put it on PowerPoint. So you should know what you're going to talk about. The important points, you have it on PowerPoint. And this is sort of like a pro tip. So you can have a list. So let's say that you can't put everything on PowerPoint, but there's something important. You can have a list to the side and have a glass of water, because sometimes we do get a little thirsty. So, or because if you're nervous or something, or you may have a dry throat, who knows. And as you're taking a sip of water, you could even peek at your list. So that's like, let's say, if for whatever reason you don't want them to think that you've memorized too much, you could as you're taking sip of water, you could peek at what's on your list. You can do that. So that's about presentation style. And the next one, the most important one, is actually connecting with your audience. And the way you do that is actually you need to practice, because if you don't practice, guess what? You are actually, you don't know what you're going to talk about, and that's why you're going to be off. And then you won't have, you won't be connecting with the audience. But if you practice, and I've mentioned that 3 times, practice, practice, practice. Because if you practice, then you know what you're going to talk about. And then your mind is free to look here and there and connect with the audience. And that is very important. Make eye contact with people. And if you totally believe in what you're sharing, that if you believe that what I'm giving is of great value and you're going to find it really, really useful. If I believe in that, guess what? You're going to believe that too, and you're going to find it really interesting. But if a person is kind of doubtful about what they're sharing, then, it will come across and people are going to be also doubtful about what they're sharing. So believe in what you're sharing and people will believe in you as well. And this is another important aspect, is connect with something that was presented before or things discussed in the class. Why is this important? This kind of shows that you have the capability to connect with whatever is going on, and you're paying attention. You are listening to what is going on instead of being in your own head thinking about what you're going to say next. Okay, so it's very important that you do that. Connect with previous presentations or things discussed in the class. Okay, so to recap, you go back to these three things. The material has to be good, flawless, make sure the font is good and easily readable, presentation style, your tonality, the words you use, pretty good, and connect with the audience, make eye contact, smile, connect with what people said before or something that was said in the class. So once again, thank you for watching this video, and you're probably wondering about what happened to the guy. So this guy comes back next year, and the teacher asked him the same question: why should I give you the black belt? So the student says, after coming here for 2 years, and this is my 3rd year, I realized that there is so much to learn. This is just life is a journey, and it's a great learning experience. So whatever I have learned in this, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to try to help people, as well as I'm going to build upon that. I'm going to keep on learning and keep on improving what I have done. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And so the teacher is impressed, and the teacher says, okay, here's your black belt. The moral of the story is your learning should never end. You should keep on learning, because there is so much to learn in the world, and keep on improving. So all the best to your final presentation, and I'll wow me with your presentation next time. Use the tips that I have given you over here. Okay? All right. I'll see you in class. Bye.